All right, let's get this going. Hey, how you doing?
All right, sir. All right.
How you feeling today, sir?
I'll manage. Just checking
Okay.
up on seeing what's on the notes here.
Well, you okay? This is Judge Joe Brown one more time. Man Up Mondays. I need to talk about some manning up, brother.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about Man Up, but the Man Up Monday is the first Monday every month. That's next week. But
Okay, I got.
we'll do a preemie here.
Okay,
No harm.
yeah. So Judge, I was looking at some news just a couple minutes ago, and says Donald Trump defends the shooter Kyle Rittenhouse and says they attacked him in the Wisconsin. You know, the guy that shot the three people.
Well,
And
I said some time ago that when you riot, all bets are off. You can kind of open yourself to anybody that's acting in a lawful fashion can basically take you down. So we got a 17-year-old, and the problem is he's too old young to be possessed of the firearm he had, which is a long arm. He's supposed to be 18 in his state. He's only 17, so that's a violation right there. Next thing is that, well, he got himself backed into a situation. You've got these little vanilla cupcakes out there rioting. There's nobody black involved, so I don't understand why black folk are getting so worked up about it. But you've got 150 to 200 people, and everywhere from this little town to Chicago, and the same ones are getting let out on bail night after night. The same 150, 200 of them, they're burning stuff, rioting, looting. Nobody's revoking the ROR bonds or the low bonds and raising the bonds. And that's not a riot when you've got just 200 people. That's just
that just
disorder. And somebody is indulging them for what look to be political purposes. The mayors, the governors ought to be down there with the National Guard sweeping through and busting everybody and keeping them off of the streets because they've already created situations that have been proven hazardous to uh, life and limb, and they're burning up a lot of property. So public peace, dignity, and order needs to be restored. And I'm looking at this in terms of what's going on here. 50 years ago, this would have lasted 2 nights and it would have either gotten real big or all of this would have stopped. So it looks like the same little ratchet vanilla cupcakes are getting out of line. Now, this 17-year-old kid, aside from being too young to be armed with the weapon he had, I don't know what happened at this auto parts place. I have no idea, but apparently
what a
somebody
guy
got,
told me the insurance job.
well, maybe, but some kid got shot in the head and done in, and then they chased him down the street. So at that point, what's he supposed to do? Surrender and get jacked up, or keep going and doing what he did? You put
Well,
yourself in a situation, stuff happens.
I
And
just
then I looked at the videos, several different videos of the event, and I just said, you know, if somebody's armed with a weapon, of an effective one, even though it's only a 22, and you get to moving up on somebody like you're Superman. Hey, that one guy got shot in the chest, the other one got it in the arm, and
well, I look at it
you
like
know,
this. I just
bust a
told a guy
move, you get busted.
I just told a guy on Facebook literally about 5 minutes ago. I said, look, bro. I said, look. First of all, one of us out there, let them have that little thing, whatever they want to do. I said, number two, the only thing that was against the law is that he was 17. Otherwise, he acted in self-defense, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, what's he supposed to do? Let the mob get him? See, mobs lynch people. And you've got this idea now with these little ratchet cupcakes that all of a sudden mob justice is okay. It's not.
Well, but let me say something. And then what did he say? I'm out here to protect property. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, he told you what he was there to do. Police officers didn't do nothing. So, hey,
they've got no backup. I'm looking at this spectacle of them shooting rubber bullets, and an effective defense to rubber bullets is an ordinary umbrella, which were scattered around in profusion. And they were throwing fireworks. Somebody get an eye put out with fireworks. I mean, this just looks like, oh, man, I was really wasted, man. We trashed the 12th floor, man.
Well, what I gotta say, Judge, is since we're on this topic now, because I sent you a video the other day, and I sent you a post from a Seattle Antifa group came into Kenosha with a black girl, I think, driving the bus, looking like a black girl driving the bus, and they came into Kenosha on Saturday, and they got rounded up by U.S. Marshals. Now, you had a black people protesting too. But here's the thing. They wouldn't let Antifa get in this march. I said, that's what you're supposed to do. Don't let them get in, because they get in, they're going to take it over, and you ain't going to have no march. They're going to start fires and chaos. You know what time it is.
Yeah, Antifa is too well funded, has modern communications equipment, walkie-talkies and stuff, and seems to have an amazing propensity to stumble on stocks of concrete blocks, bricks, and stones that are strategically located to use tactically by breaking windows. I think there's something more to Antifa than meets the eye. I think some factions, well, I don't blame them, but they're using the cover of the Black Lives Matter mess to get it on. And I think they're trying to take a little vengeance out on the system in practice, because I think they're targeting, not that I care, the Aryan Nation and the Klan and American Nazi Party and that bunch. So it is what it is.
Well, let me say something else to you. But what I'm saying, and that's why I said when we watching, and I know I sent you a thing the other day of what's this guy named Pastor Jamal Bryant up there in Georgia, and he's up there, he's talking about that, we got the first black vice president nominee running for
office. Stupid moron. I can't deal with ignorance, It's like I just sometimes I'll badmouth it, but when you got an ignorant fool, a fool is, sometimes in a position to not, do you have a fool, but how big a fool can a fool be? And these ignoramuses are so desperate to get something to identify with that looks like it may have a modicum of success, they'll invent something to take anything somebody invents for them. This woman is a Tamil Hindu Brahmin. Nothing wrong with them as a people. They are the intellectual class in India and in the Hindu religion. They dominate everything over there. They range from your complexion to paper bag brown with coarse black hair to somewhat nappy hair, but they're not African. Other than like everybody else on the planet came out of Africa about 95,000 years ago, or there was a wave before that of about 200,000 years ago. But I mean, other than that, it ain't African. So they are dark, and a lot of American colored folk don't get it, that there are dark-skinned Caucasians. It's not just about your color. So you've got Mama San, she's a Tamil Hindu Brahmin directly from India. You've got Papa San, and he is, as he says, he is a descendant of white people who formerly are descendants of people who own plantations and of Tamil Brahmins. Now, I find her birth certificate a little bit questionable, and it was supplied to Howard University And I have a sneaking suspicion it was used to sneak in and snatch a black scholarship that belonged to some black American. And it lists on their mother's race Caucasian, which is what she is, because Tamil Brahmins are Indo-Aryans. Yeah, the Aryans, like in Aryan Nation, except they got it wrong. They're not blonde-haired, blue-eyed from the far north. They're paper bag brown, dark brown from the Indus River Valley, and that's where the Germans came from. But Hitler got it kind of wrong. Hit some things about the color scheme too. But anyway, she's an Indo-Aryan, and that qualifies as a Caucasian. So she lists Caucasian. When it comes to daddy's color or race or ethnicity, it says Jamaica man. And everybody's supposed to say, everybody from Jamaica, man, they got to be of African descent, man. But no, see, Jamaica was part of the British Empire, part of the British Commonwealth. So you have everybody from Hong Kong, Singapore, out in the Pacific. You've got people from China. You've got people from India, Pakistan, Afghanistan. You've got people from Kenya. You've got them from South Africa. You've got them from Nigeria. You've got them from England, Ireland, and Scotland, and all of the rest of those places. So you got this big eclectic mix. And like as pale as I am, if you go to St. Elizabeth Parish, man, everybody be high bright, man. High pale. But you know, you go other places and you get the thing with dark Jamaicans, but you'll also see the Hindu type, the Asiatic type, and the multiplicity of white types. So people get that idea, and I'm wondering how they got away with that, since this was not in India. This was in San Francisco, California, the Bay Area. And it says color, nationality, or ethnicity, and they put down Jamaican man. That's just your nationality.
Okay, well, let me put it this way, sir, Judge. Look at this. But look at this analogy right here. See, and then he's saying, and the 3 lesbian women started Black Lives Matter, and just because they lesbian.
4.
Oh, okay, 4. I thought 3.
1, 2, 3 Black American lesbos, and 1 African lesbo. She had to escape for someone killed her, and her white wife. Technically 5, but 4 of them. Well, so they get $250,000 a year salary, and the money is raised through. Listen to this. This is fraud, and the FBI, IRS, and everybody ought to be on some behind, but I don't think they had a political will to do it. You go to BLM and they say the money that you donate is collected by Act Blue, which is a Democratic Party front organization. You go a little bit further into the site, which you have to look now since they reacted to us talking about it the last few months. You will find the dollar contributions to various Democratic candidates during the last primary season, down to some pennies in some cases. That's full disclosure to comply with federal law. But they are supposed to be a nonprofit entity that's exempt because they are a charitable organization. So you can have taxpayer paid employees putting up 20-floor tall banners outside of a federal building in DC. And it says Black Lives Matter, but then you look at the disclaimer that they have real small in there, and it says, be aware that your deductions are not taxed, that your contributions are not tax deductible. This does not qualify as a charitable organization. So if some idiot, which I'm assuming there are a bunch of them in the federal accounting office's attorney section, because I know they're young, unwashed, unexperienced, and unbroken in, uninterned, and unresident experience, so they don't know what the hell they're doing. And all you had to do was go to the damn site and read it. See, nobody goes to that site. Black Lives Matter. So you and I both have run into this thing where, yeah, man, it's Black Lives Matter. I said, here, read this. Man, what kind of punk organization it is with all these queer folk, man, talking about queer affirming shit. What is that? It's Black Lives Matter. No, it ain't. Read it.
Okay.
See, man, what they mean by this? Well, read the rest of it. Our trans brothers and sisters need to lead, and the real victims of all of this are the trans women, blah. What the hell is that? Some fool in drag.
Well,
So
look,
what they talking about, man? I said, you see anything talking about black men, fool? What is this cis thing? That's they talking about you. See how they talk? They talking about suppressing cis. You know, what are they talking about? Talking about keep down straight black men and straight black women. And what is this? Dismantling of the traditional Western nuclear family. Hell, everybody on the whole planet's got the same family structure. So what are they doing? They just some queer folk running around trying to have a good time, and what it's about all about what kind of perverted sex they're having. That's their damn business. Keep it in the bedroom, but don't sit there and do that bait and switch crap where you want us to sit there and write out our checks or touch that yellow donate thing with the black lettering on it, that yellow square, you know, they've got on their site. Touch it and then put your credit card up and donate them a bunch of money. And Soros is giving them 10.4 million just a few weeks ago. So what in the hell are they doing? And then you read this thing that I think FBI, ATF, and some others ought to get into, Homeland Security / Patriot Act. It says arranging events through, these dudes are sitting there and they're arranging these lawless demonstrations where they loot and burn. They all ought to be locked up for conspiracy and be done with it. And if you want something, you got to have a slogan, say BFM. You know, everybody got to have a slogan these days. Black folk matter, black families matter, black fathers matter, black finance matters, black fealty matters, black finance or faith or whatever. You know, it matters. So you can go that way, but you don't really need a slogan. But so many of the people your age and under lack a cause. They have no purpose. So just like last year, you remember they were doing this thing about, oh my God, the ice caps are melting and the polar bears, what are they going to do? They have nowhere to go. We must save the polar bears. And then the other one, I used to be the most powerful creature in the jungle. I'm not now. You are, blah, blah, blah. Save me. You kicking our ass and putting us on your damn den floors, you know, and walking all over our shit after you done killed us. Man, no respect, man. Save the tigers. And then, you know, a mother elephant and her calf have the closest bond possible. And they show the tusk where they've killed them for ivory, save the elements. And then they have the same thing. They lapse off into poor Oscar chained in the backyard during the winter, and he'll never know love unless we help him. Since 1995, a month, the ASPCA whoops up BLM to save the Afro bipeds. You know, we imported them from Africa, and some of them have escaped from the farms, the plantation, and they are running amok. And these boys in blue are hunting them, you know, and we have to restrict these hunting licenses because they endanger the Afro bipeds. Damn, I don't
got a
need you
question
trying
for
to
you.
save me. Get the hell out of my way. I'll save my damn self.
I got a question for you.
We got to get real about this.
Hold on, I got a question for you.
Okay, they had no reason to shoot that guy down in Ferguson, but what the hell did he run for? He was scared. Well, goddamn, man up, fool. Stand there. I've seen video where the dude, yeah, he's, you know, he's doing his thing, you know, more power to him. And then somebody, why'd you run? I was scared. Well, goddamn it, you got gunned down. Didn't your mama ever tell you don't run from a rabid dog? From a dog, they'll chase your ass? Well, you know, we're the apex predator on the planet. When I did all these murder defenses that I used to, I did 42 first-degree murder cases I tried as a lawyer. Death penalty demanded, and a whole bunch of them where they didn't demand the death penalty. One thing I found out taking these psychology courses on the subject was just like if you start running, a dog will go chase after you. The baddest predator on the planet, the male human, you run from him and he go chase after your behind. You can turn in and look at it any Sunday, or you used to before COVID-19, and watch him play in an NFL stadium. Or turn on the NBA. Dude run down. Well, they don't run down the court now. They kind of take a sedate pace. So, you know, today's basketball games, playoffs got 76-54. We'd have walked out if that wasn't on the clock at halftime 50 years ago. They used to run up 130, 140-point game. They play stall defense and prevent offense, prevent defense and stall offense. And, you know, one of them goes down the court with the ball, everybody trying to walk down the court behind him. Somebody might jog, nobody runs anymore. But, you know, you run, somebody's going to chase you behind. So what's everybody running for? And then this guy that got shot 7 times in the back. Okay, one cop punked out, scared out. He was the one did all the shooting. Everybody else looking at him, man, what's wrong with you, man? You know, lost it, dude. Punked out, man. He wasn't doing anything. Well, yeah, now he's supposed to have a knife. But, you know, you can hear, man, stop, don't move. Well, I got to go. But just hold still. No, I got to go. Well, for what, you packing shit? You got on some body armor, some 2A or some 3A thread armor with, you know, some trauma plate front and back. Then stand your behind there.
Okay, you know? I got a question for you. And this is a friend of mine. He's in the chat. I think what is he saying here? How many COINTELPRO cases have you investigated? But I know you went on that Martin Luther King case. So
goddamn, fuck that COINTELPRO bullshit. You know, like humans kill each other. That's our favorite sport as a species, killing each other. Look at World War II. Goddamn Nazis killed off 20 million Russians, and Stalin killed off 25 million of his own damn people. You know, that's just what we do. I mean, what do we look at? We like to watch James Bond. What's James Bond? 007 with a license to kill. I say 007 Bond, James Bond, you know? What the hell? Born Identity. You know, we do all kinds of stupid Fast and Furious, you know, for series after series in the franchise, a bunch of grown idiots acting like they're 16-year-old going 95 in a 35 zone, and they live for the drag race, spend all that money wrecking cars. What the hell's the point? Juvenile delinquents? You know, that's what you're looking at right now.
Got another thing here.
Dirty Harry. Everybody used to like Dirty Harry. That was 50 years ago. Popeye Doyle, you know, he gunned down 42 people actually in the line of duty. We all like Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, used to watch Mac Dillon Fake It and Gunsmoke. And then there was, let's see, who the hell? Doc Holliday. Oh, we love that. Billy the Kid. And by the way, you know what Billy the Kid's real thing was? He was friends with the 9th Cavalry. So a lot of those folk he shot were out of vengeance for those folks shooting 9th Cavalry Buffalo soldiers. By the way, factoid, more 10th Cavalry and 9th Cavalry Buffalo soldiers got killed by the Texas Rangers than they did by the Native Americans. There you go. Okay. So we love this shit.
We got, also he said, now I want to break this down because I sent you some articles over the weekend. You had 39 children that they found in a sex trafficking ring they found, and 100 in another state. And I think that was in, I forgot the other state. I sent you the article, but he says you have outright sick individuals trying to legalize pedophilia, which we know that. Actually,
Black Lives Matter. You want to hear what's really sick? California has got a Democratic absolute majority in the House and the Senate. Every Republican voted against the bill, and every Democrat voted for it, and it passed. It is SB 145. You know what it does?
Oh, it allows you a child to get a sex change, and like
no. Worse than that. For sex offenders.
Okay.
If the victim of the rape or the child abuse is no more than 10 years younger than the perp, say it's a 10-year-old boy and a 20-year-old guy, or an 11-year-old girl and a 21-year-old guy, they can't put them on the sex registry anymore because that would discriminate against people who are pedophiles.
Oh, damn.
They just passed that. That was a recent development. Now, how about that for some sick mess?
Well,
see, that's what these damn demagogues are trying to do. That Equality Act, that's what the damn Equality Act was trying to do, was put the same bull in the federal system. Fortunately, though it passed the House, which is Democratic control, on a voice vote on the first reading, it stalled out in the Senate. We got to keep the Senate Republican hands to keep these morons from passing that garbage, so it will be legal for some sick jerk who ought to be put in an electric chair, gas chamber, or lethally injected. Instead of getting that, they get a defense to what they did.
Yeah.
One thing I can't stand is some fool messing with a child. And I don't think the death penalty has a damn thing to do with stopping homicides. It's actually an incentive, but I think the death penalty should be merited for child rape and child abuse of certain types. Pedophiles who act out their fantasies need to be taken out. Postnatal abortion can be good. You know, unfortunately, all that food and time got wasted on them. But, you know, postnatal, they might be 24, 25, sitting on death row for 9, 10 years, but take them out.
Well, let me say something here about this, because I want people to understand this now, Judge, on this point. Now, like, when you look at this thing, I told you on up in Washington, D.C., that the pastor Jamal Bryant, what the pastor, come on, man, you're a pastor telling us to endorse LGBTQ? What are you doing? This was not acceptable. Al Sharpton, he supports Black Lives Matter too.
Look here. Al Sharpton, I told you what his thing was. Somebody I know allegedly caught him off in a bathroom and somebody was behind it and he was bending. He used to wear his hair like him.
Well, let's go to the other point though about.
And he even says he likes fried chicken. Like me some fried chicken. Oh, please.
Well, if you're a pastor, you know, like this shouldn't.
There's some good preachers. Don't get me wrong, but a whole lot of them are pimps. And the book they're supposed to be preaching out of calls what's going on an abomination. But you know, you go to a black church and a whole bunch of them you go in, and a whole bunch of those abominations are gibbering around up on the stage next to the pulpit, all out of time to the music, and they just so happy and everything else, and they love Jesus, and they're supposed to be an abomination. So why is the pastor putting them up on the pulpit, next to the pulpit, to illustrate this abomination to the congregation? Oh, maybe the pastor swings that way too. A whole bunch of them do.
Well,
I know they used to have Kojic come here, and we had Bishop J.O. Patterson Jr. was the chief bishop. He used to get up every year in Memphis. They'd have 10, 12,000 Kojic members come here. And he'd get up and say, now, look, all of you that are visiting, you leave these boys alone. And if you don't, I'm going to get up here and expose you.
Well, like I said, we got some good examples. I mean, like, you know, like our friend Bishop Scott. I mean, he talks well, you know. I mean, you got some good examples, but you got some ones that don't really need to be preaching this blasphemy. You know what I mean?
They have some good lawyers, and then they have some jackleg fools that don't need to be practicing. Everybody thinks they're good because they charge high fees, don't know a damn thing about what to do in the courtroom. And this advertising stuff, I do that for some law firms, but I check them out before I do it and see what their reputation is. Because I've seen some lawyers that used to walk in my courtroom with a bunch of clients. And I'm going, this is a disaster waiting to happen. This guy's never even tried a case before just a judge. And then somebody says, I ain't copping out to no damn burglary case. I wasn't even in the town when that went down. Hell with you. And I can hear it. And I'm saying, excuse me, counselor, we're not going to reset this for a plea. Your client says the court overheard him, indicates he has a defense, an alibi, and he's not pleading guilty. Set this for trial. Then the dude has a nervous breakdown because he's never tried it. Or he gets in front of the jury and he's got all these clients in and out of my courtroom that he's been advertising to get, and he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I don't want no public defender. I want a private lawyer. Mama, you got to get me a real lawyer. And then the person they get is a jackass, has never been up in court, doesn't know how to tie his shoelaces, is a baby and sits there, doesn't know what questions to ask, has no clue how to select the jury, doesn't know cross-examination, direct examination, doesn't know the rules of evidence, is scared to go out and talk to a damn witness. It is going to get a person an incompetent defense, but they want to pay him.
Well, let me say something to you. I want to bring something up here because, you know, over the last week, you know, we've had a lot of, and I'm going to break this down in a context because I want you to really understand this now.
Okay, I'm understanding. Go ahead.
Listen, last week, you know, the NBA players said they were going to stage a boycott, right?
You mean when Barry went and talked him out of it?
Yeah, that's
said,
right.
Oh, you know me. Wouldn't you like the ex-president to give you some head, boys?
Well, what I'm saying is,
some of them probably took the offer. Y'all be nice. Right. America likes to be transfixed by you boys getting all this money. And one of you getting more than the 5 top scientists on this COVID-19 put together. So, you know, let's distract them some more.
Well, let me say this, though, about this situation. Because you got LeBron James, these players, they got, some of the owners don't want to put Black Lives Matter on the court, but the players say you must have put Black Lives Matter. Now they're saying that they're going to put voting booths in arenas. Then you have LeBron. I mean, like they found out today that 20% of the players are only registered voters. So but when they said that Barack Obama told them to keep playing, I said, well, goddamn, ain't that, man, that's just
punk ass, sissy.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, where the black folk get off of this? They got this imported bush bunny by way of Kansas, where his Kenyan bush bunny daddy got him some white nookie, and they all lived happily ever after in Indonesia in the compound with an oil baron who was a hired killer that the Hague allegedly wanted for mass murder, and the U.S. blocked the extradition. When the hell did he get to speak for us? He's got no black American ancestors. The hell? George and George W. Bush are his cousins, so is Dick Cheney and Warren Buffett. And this is supposed to be somebody talks for us. See, like somebody said, well, the basketball players, I said, look, let me tell you something. I'm not going to get on a basketball court and tell an NBA player how to play basketball. They need to keep their ass off the other kind of court where I was in for 50 damn years and trying to tell me how to play the game on that court, the one that counts.
Well, I mean, and you told me an interesting thing. You texted me last week and you said, look, you said, okay, if you want to put Black Lives Matter on the court, if you want to keep on being all woke, don't watch the game. It's a distraction anyway, right?
Yeah, I said, you want to be woke? Tell everybody turn this shit off and pay attention to what the hell's going on.
I understand
it off. You don't need to be watching it.
That's right.
No, they don't say that because, see, there are a few people that are making money and they're doing something with it. And the rest of them, too many of them are just hood rats. I'd like to man them up. In fact, me and the guy they used to call Big Daddy Wade, 25, 30 years ago, we used to play daddy to some of these NBA players because a lot of them, all they had growing up was mama, and mama, look, I done birthed him. Everything he get, mine. So you want to break your son? He owed me for birthing him. Well, what the hell else did you do for him besides try to ruin him? And if most everybody else on the planet is thinking about what they're going to do to make it better for their offspring and their grand offspring, and you're looking at it like, what you going to do to play parasite on yours? Oh, hell no.
Well, let me say something else here, Judge, about that. So, you know, the fact, and I say it's also tuning people off because people saying you are supporting a known queer affirming network and putting it on the court. You are supporting a known Marxist organization. I said people are going to get turned off by Black Lives Matter. Now, I want to break this down to you. Last week, this just happened last Tuesday. Jacob Blake's mother was on CNN with Don Lemon, right? And Benjamin Crump.
Lemon sucker. Lemon sucker lemon.
Well, and she said that she is in support. She said that she has the utmost respect for Donald Trump. Called her and she missed this call. After that, Don Lemon went and said, stop the protests and looting because it's showing up in the polls and you're going to help Donald Trump win the election. Donald Trump said this on national TV.
Yeah, well, I agree. I'm looking at it and I'm saying, you know, this is not really a protest. Back when they did it 50 years ago, you got a good chance of being dead before the day's over if you get out on these protests, because the police or the National Guard will shoot you. And these folk, they're getting indulged. They got umbrellas to block the rubber bullets and have a good time, throw fireworks at the cops, and maybe now and then a young white boy with an M4 clone goes out there and shoots 3 of them. And they go, oh my God, he's running amok. And Trump said he was doing what he had to do. Well, I don't care. Goddamn, you get out there and you get to burning stuff up. You know, what was it? The Texas Rangers had that motto: one riot, one ranger. He just go and start shooting people. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Now I got one more 6-gun. You know, which 5 of you are going to die next?
Well, let's say something here. I want to break this down to you. I want to talk about a couple things going on in Virginia right quick. As I sent you the other day, we've been having a lot of shootings lately in turf wars, and I texted it to you. I just sent it to you to see what you said. You said, ain't no problem. You just need some man training. Man up. Stop. The shooting going to happen till you man up. So I said, okay, so you looking at it, ain't nothing to talk about. Just man up and get do what a man.
Ain't nothing to talk about. Man up. See, you notice nobody will say that but me, you, and a few other people. Man the hell up, damn it. Instead of going around here, oh my God, we've got too much of this, too much of that. Just man up. You're telling these fools to do anything they feel like and go around acting like they got a pussy instead of a dick. Get the tears out of their eyes. Start manning up. And then somebody wants to say, see, you caught up with white supremacy. No, fool. So you better watch your step. This old man will whip your damn ass, fool. Talking about, you better read the background.
Well, let me say something else, Judge. If you look at this shooter, Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin, for a 17-year-old child, he still was able to focus and hit his target who attacked him.
He did quite well.
That's what I'm saying.
So, he wasn't used to carrying all of that, but you know, other than being clumsy, he did all right.
Okay, but
I mean,
that's what I'm
backed him off, didn't he?
That's what I'm going to tell you.
But you see, I've seen that long ago in life, growing up in LA. Yeah, man, you want some of this? Come on up and get you some. No, back off of it. So, yeah, you didn't know it was that loud, did you? And dude ain't doing like he doing in the movie. He got hit. He stumbled over there and he on the ground. He ain't getting up.
Well, listen.
And the other one going, oh, my arm hurt. Oh, shit. It hurt. Yeah, well, you know, you're going to be a hero. Be a hero. You know, being a hero is not dunking the ball with 3 seconds left and winning the basketball game by 1 point or hitting the 3-point play, you know, with 4 seconds left in the game. That isn't what a hero is. It's dangerous. That's why they call it being a hero. And being a hero, see, they got a thing now where they call somebody this gets done in because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time a hero. That is not a hero. My old man's generation, my generation, you know, this is one sad sack EMF. You know, he was sitting there taking a dump with 4 other dudes when the mortar round hit and got his ass blown up. Blew the shit out of him, man, literally. You know, that ain't a hero. You just wrong place at wrong time. Now they call that a hero.
Well, let me say something here, Judge, because like I told you, you know, down here they trying to change a lot of laws on guns. You know, we got a mayor who's I look at him as LGBT. I mean, I don't know where everybody else, but I know when he first got elected, or like shortly after, he was sponsoring the LGBT parade out of school.
Oh, you know he punked out then. Don't even listen to him. He got nothing to say.
But you know,
In
that
school.
well, no, it wasn't at school. It was you know, they had it in like the church parking lot. But what I'm saying is, you know, a lot of things going on now. So just today, and I sent you an article in Minnesota. However, 6 Democratic mayors said they're going to endorse Donald Trump for president. This is in Minnesota now, who hadn't won an election Republican in a long time. So that is
well, look at that mess. All of that disorder going on, and all of those rich donors are now, look, fool. I've got an investment in that, and I'm losing money. And you know, the insurance company is talking about we're not covered under riots, act of God maybe, but not rioting and insurrection. You better put a stop to this, because I'm losing money. And they go, oh hell, forgot about that, boss man. What do you want me to do? Should I get on my knees and pucker up? No, you just need to do something about that. You better get on somebody that's on the state capitol about sending the troops in and stopping this, and ain't but 150, 200 of them. They didn't like this 5, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000 out there carrying on.
You know something, Judge? I want to say one other thing that I meant to mention. Like, and then we were just talking about that, how you said about the public peace and order. But here's another little thing. If you realize now that now people like Biden and Kamala Harris are trying to condemn the protesters, but at first you gave them ammunition to do with it. You said it peaceful protest, so you can't put the genie back in the bottle.
That's the problem. See, some folk don't know that. See, looky here. I saw it in Twitter, and then I went out with a lady friend just the other night. So I'm there, and some of these all white young ones coming up talking about, say Black Lives Matter. No, I'm not. Say Black Lives Matter. I said, well, you get the hell out of my face. I'm not going to say that. Ain't going to happen. Now, I will show you how black folk matter, because you're irritating the hell out of one right now, and you about to find out about something you haven't thought about. Is called Black Power, fool.
Now, that's right. Okay, I like that.
You want to see an exhibition. See, and then like you gotta see people. You have to think. I don't need it now, but I had a real problem with my back, so I had to use a cane to walk. So I bought a cane at Walgreens. Possibility. Let me get one. So I got some canes. So I just been practicing, So, yeah, okay. Give me an excuse, old man. Well, officer, I'm an old man, and these youth, they attacked me. Disparate force. And my God, what was I to do?
Well, that's interesting, because last week in D.C., I forgot what, maybe it might not have been D.C., but they surrounded a lady and told her, you need to put the fists up or we're not going to let you eat for the most part, just hovering over her, like at least 30 of them more, in a restaurant doing this in D.C. So.
You want to see one of those those moments you like to go to the movies to watch? Now, I don't know if I can get all of you, but I'll get a whole lot of you.
Well,
maybe we can send you back to the kitchen and cook you up a little bit. Sauteed.
Now I will say this. A couple of weeks ago, because I wanted to bring this down, about infiltration, because remember a couple of weeks ago we talked about I had a brother, and I said I'm gonna just try to get a judge to call. You answered the phone that day, and you talked about. He told you that he tried to talk to one of the members of the Not Fucking Around Coalition, and he said they got on him about asking him questions. So, and you were saying that this group, by you know, by nothing going on, is probably already heavily infiltrated.
Yeah, in other words, yeah, anything goes down, they got a whole bunch of police already watching inside.
Well,
See, this
and I
thing about black unity, I used to say that, but I don't anymore because some people you need to keep away from you to just look like you. I heard Jomo Kenyatta speak before he died years and years ago, been a long time ago. My old man took me. And Jomo Kenyatta said, we had to kill 11,000 white people to have a successful revolution. Unfortunately, 10,000 of them had black faces.
yeah.
In other words, everybody black is not your friend. And the other thing is like situation you were alluding to earlier. Little white black girl got busted for driving the Antifa types to the party zone.
You're right about that. Yeah, but you know something though, and I'm looking at this now in a section. Like you were saying, like I know you knew Bunchy Carter and all these Black
Yes,
Panthers.
I
And,
did. John
okay,
Hudgens and Geronimo Pratt, Elaine Brown, she's still alive and kicking. Nat Clark, quite a few other folk.
okay. Well, what I'm saying on
4 of
that,
them are dead. There was Marsha Blake too that used to hang around. Gwen Goodloe, she's alive and married now, and Ollie Bell, and I knew a bunch of them.
okay, well that's good. What I was gonna say, like you were saying, like when they went to the top of the mountain up there to do that march. I mean, that's where the Klan meets, but there was nobody up there. And you said you
Stone
don't.
Mountain, it's a
Yeah,
park.
somewhere. But you said you don't grandstand. If you're gonna do something, do it, but don't grandstand because you open yourself up when you do that.
And then the other thing too, when you're sitting out there trying to front off, be careful. You may show people what you don't know. I saw a whole lot of folk getting swept with muzzles and folk with their fingers in the trigger guard. Somebody had a ND negligent discharge. They don't call it accidental anymore up there. And I'm saying lucky somebody didn't die because somebody didn't know what the hell they were doing. I cringed. I said, oh man, that's not the way to do it. And they had on the black uniforms, and obviously a lot of them had never put all the stuff on that they had bought, and they were kind of cramped out, uncomfortable, overheated, about to pass out from heat exhaustion. It didn't look good.
Well,
But,
you might.
it made a point. In one sense, I suppose it was a sacrifice. If you arm yourself, that's going to get all of you killed. And if somebody stood up and actually did what you're talking about, Judge, they would be gunned down. Oh, they might survive. Look at what happened with Breonna Taylor. The boyfriend exercised his right under the Castle Doctrine, opened fire on the cops. Now, they shot back at him. Their warrant said suspect likely to be armed and dangerous, and the warrant had the wrong address, which is negligence, so they returned fire, just like they do in the movies. So they didn't hit him, they hit poor Breonna Taylor, who was in bed, and she got done in by stray bullets. So he didn't get charged, they didn't get charged, but there's some gross negligence that's not criminal negligence by the cops that were on the scene. So
I get what you're
tragic.
saying.
There's ice on the freeway, and everybody slides into a massive pileup on the way home from work. 2 or 3 people die.
Well, I understand, and like you saying that, but I know the example from your mind. You looking at it like this brother shot the cops back and did not die. That's how you looking at it. So you say he manned
like
up.
they carried the pieces at Stone Mountain, and they didn't die. I mean, it's a good point. Makes that point. Maybe some black folk, that everybody's walking around, the new word is woke. So get woke.
I
You have a
understand.
Second Amendment right. we ain't got no rights because the white. Well, yeah, if you sit there and you had that defeated attitude, why worry about it? You're going to lose any damn way. You don't think you can win.
Well, I looked at something you were saying one time, Judge. I think you were talking to Brother Ron. Actually, you were. And you made a point about that you had some people try to attack you and you shot and hit one right on the money, you know?
Yeah.
So, hey, you know, and that was on that Martin Luther King case you were talking about. They tried to get you.
Yeah,
So.
5 people tried to break in my house about 3 a.m. We had about a 30, 35 shot shootout. I hit all 5 of them. They didn't hit me.
Well, you know what that shows?
I heard them. So, you know, I had my Kevlar. I put it on, let's see who gets to Valhalla and who waits on who in the year after.
I got one other thing to tell you. I know you were talking. We were talking about it. Had a brother. He said, one of my friends today. He said he really respects you. He been watching you since you was with Judge Mathis. He said you always been on that man up thing, and so he just wanted to tell you that he appreciates you for that because we need that. I was talking to him today, and he wants to bring me on his radio show, and he says, I said, brother, the women sometimes tell me I'm too much of a man these days. I said, wow, right? And he said, they tell me the same thing. I said, man, I mean, hey, look, it ain't no man training, man. I mean, especially in certain areas like Richmond, Virginia. I mean, I'm sorry, man, we got a lot of single mothers. It's all over the country, actually, but you know what it is. But I'm not even.
Yeah, and see, a lot of those single mothers think they got done wrong by the guy that went off and left them. See, but that guy that left them got raised by a mama like them. And then, like, let's face it, most of them don't look like they go to the gym and work out. Most of them don't have the prettiest faces. Most of them don't have the smoothest way of carrying themselves. And when they get that sharp tongue going, guy ain't doing nothing but staying there for the nookie and what he can get on some side money action. And that's about it. So they don't offer much else. A friend of mine and I, we were sitting in some place the other day, and we were remarking about the last time we'd been to that place with a date. I'm saying, man, you know what's bad in here? I said, look at these white girls over here. Damn near every one of them looks like she spends some hours a week in a gym, doing her aerobics or her running or her treadmill or her stationary bike. Look at them. They know how to put the makeup on. They got the hair together. They don't have nails out to here with a $400 nail job and 15 pounds of weave. Looking like they are 65 years old, but they're only 19. And you know what's bad, man? Dude said, I'm about to laugh because I know what you're saying. Said, we some grown men fully retired, and the women we bring out look better than what these young brothers are bringing in. And they old women. I just said, damn, man. I said, that's a shame, ain't it? I said, you got a woman 55 years old on your arm, 59 years old, 50 years old on your arm, and she looked better than the 18, 19-year-olds. Ain't that a shame?
Well, you know something?
What the hell happened?
You know something, Judge? Actually, to be honest with you, I have talked to women older than me that do look better than some of the ones that 30 years old. I mean, it's a fact. I mean, hey, it is what it is.
Like some young girl, this one is a good looking one. She could be a model. She just got out of college. She's working for a Wall Street investment firm, right? She's going someplace. Real smart too. Good looker. Great. Mama's a judge. And I used to talk to her because I mentored her. And I said, look, you do not need to associate yourself with a loser. I don't care what anybody is telling you. Pay attention to the magic books so you can learn that magic and cast those spells and do what you need to do. And she told me, she said, you know what? Everything's coming in like you said. How did you know? I said, been there, seen that, done that. I'm the scout. I've been out there in the field looking at all this terrain, and I'm coming back and telling you what you're going to run into when you go down that trail. And you see, she, on the other hand, damn good looking young woman. But I'm looking at her and dude's talking to her like what he can do. I said, how far did he get in school? Well, he didn't go too far. I said, well, why are you even thinking about it? Well, I just felt like I was being such an elitist. Good for you. Have some smart children. You're good looking, beautiful young lady. Tall, pro model, look like Naomi Campbell when you get dressed up and cleaned up. I said, yeah. Next, when you have some babies, get you a husband that's got some money, breed up so he's smart and they're beautiful. And the girls are beautiful and smart too. She said, yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. I said, yeah, think about it that way. And so you're having a situation, a discussion with me in here, and we're talking about market indicia and parameters of ups and downs in volatile stocks and all this other stuff, and the algorithms that can be used and the different kinds. And you can do that. How you gonna deal with somebody sitting up there? Yeah, baby. Well, you see, like the game, like man, did you check out LeBron, man, babe? Man, LeBron is bad, man. Like, hey, man, that's the great, man. That's the GOAT, man. Yo, man. Like, yeah, man, me and my homies, we was checking out. What kind of conversation is that to be having with an intelligent woman? What's wrong with you?
Well, I got one thing to say here about that. Not that I was just in the park yesterday, and we and friend and my nephew was walking, right? And we saw two sisters, beautiful, but they were holding hands with each other. I said, oh man, I was like, come on, man. I mean, I was like, wow. I mean, hey, you need to be with a brother. You don't need to be with a sister. But like you
They
said,
can't find one. They can't find one.
well, remember what you said something last week? You said that you got more 25-year-old virgins or something
You
like
got
that.
more white, black, brown, red, yellow. There are more 25-year-old boy virgins than there are 25-year-old girl virgins in America.
Mm.
The average white girl getting more dick than the average black guy getting pussy. And the same, I mean, it's like, what's wrong? I'm me and some guys I know before this COVID-19 thing hit, we're at this pub. It's open pretty late. They serve till 2:00 in the morning. So if you missed out everything else, you're a bachelor, you go there, right? So me and a couple of old heads, we were sitting at the table talking, and next to us was some younger guys. And this guy was bragging about how many women he'd had in life. So we're looking like, is she bragging about that? So one of them said, hey, man, oh, that's Judge Brown. And that's so-and-so. Mr. So-and-so, y'all old heads, man, don't you miss all these times, man? Get laid like Earl over here getting laid? No, shoot me. Like, we're not envious of Earl, man. Why not, man? He done got all that nookie, man. Brother, we've been listening to your conversation, trying not to laugh. How come you laughing, man? Dude scoring tough. Say, brother, everybody at this table has got more than 1 week than you done got your whole life. What you bragging about? You lying. No, we not. We are not lying.
Well,
man, you done had that many women in 1 week? Yeah. Well, that's more than one a day. Yeah. Haven't you ever had any of that 3 squares a day? Wait, you trying to say all y'all done had 3 women in 1 day? Yeah.
Okay.
You now, lying? No, I ain't lying. You just deprived, man. Y'all don't even know how to get it. except for them over there that drop a baby as soon as you get the head anywhere near it. And
Now,
somebody put something up I saw up here. Interesting thing. Shouldn't we all put $100 in a piece or something like that so we can get some land? Okay. What you gonna do with the land? Grow something on it? Subsist farming? There are no farmers in America who can exist at the farming game without government assistance and subsidy. All right. So when you get it, how are you gonna get it to market? And what are you going to do about the other stuff that you need, the contracts? And you're going to set this up. So what are you going to have? A little mini facility, sub-county where you run everything? How about your law enforcement? What are you going to do to stop somebody coming in there and taking it from you? So you're back to square one.
Well, let me ask you a question. That's the number one thing I actually looked at when you said it. I think you can do it, but you got to protect your own. So, if you keep on saying you don't need no arms.
Well, yeah, but you need them. But let me tell you something. Everything like that is already in a niche that's well occupied, and it's a saturated niche with people that have very deep pockets who can afford to run a loss for 3, 4, 5 years and not sweat it. They only worry about a loss longer than 5 years because at that point, IRS says it's no longer a business deduction, it's a hobby. But they can afford to run it. Most black folk, if you get 2 or 3 bad months, they're dead. But you see, you know what you need? It's not going to work for you, but it can work for your children if they aren't too old. Get them in those magic books so they can learn to cast spells. Kindergarten through 12th grade. They get to be real good magicians like they did in that, Harry Potter thing. Okay, you can be a sorcerer. You can invent something in science, technology, engineering, and math, and that gets you in on the ground floor because nobody else is doing it. There's a whole lot of stuff in quantum mechanics that needs to be developed. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in quantum entanglement in communications that needs to be developed. There's a whole lot of stuff in quantum computation that needs to be developed. It's open. If somebody can get in there, you open up this huge doorway. See, that's something new. So you can have the equivalent of a .com revolution. But we don't think that way.
Now I got one thing. Like I meant to tell you this because I got a friend of mine. He teaches in Richmond public schools, and we were talking, about the teachers. They don't have. He was trying to help volunteer, and even in the teaching profession now, they don't like strong black men to be teachers, but they like effeminate men, effeminate principals. And mostly women. And as a matter of fact, under Teach for America, and that Teach for America was part of Obama's Race to the Top program.
That is poison. They run the education here in Memphis. You don't need to tell me about them. I've seen that wretched and poisonous game. They all got all of the senior black teachers who knew how to teach with 25, 30 years experience with master's degrees, PhDs. They lured them in to help us get this from level 1 to level 5, and then got them in 4 or 5 weeks and fired them. So, well, you brought me in. Well, you didn't do it quick enough. Well, you didn't give me the backup I wanted. So they wanted to get rid of the $90-some thousand a year salary type, $80,000 a year salary type, since that thing that Barry Soetoro was pushing was privatized education.
That's right.
And they want to hire some $28,000 to $34,000 ones who only have a 2-year education, who are doing what they're doing to get their student loans paid off while they're sending their husbands through to get MBAs, dental degrees, medical degrees, law degrees, and whatever, and hell, PhDs they're trying to get. And they have no interest in doing a damn thing for these people. Teach America gets to train the teachers, hire the teachers, assign the teachers, promote the teachers, to Teachers have no retirement benefits, hardly any medical insurance. And how the hell are you going to get somebody to do teaching now when they don't pay you what you could get out of the post office, for goodness sakes, to start?
Well,
and then they want to dumb it down to damn education, which is why some of this stuff with COVID-19 is so bewildering, and vaccinations and all of the stuff that I hear about that is just because you're not getting a decent education. I mean, if you knew what we used to have to get, even down in the hood, compared to the stuff you go into an upscale school and listen to now, it's, man, what are they going to teach them anything?
Well, let me ask you a question. And that's why I was trying to tell somebody a couple weeks ago that, listen, as soon as Barack Obama got in office, he assigned Arne Duncan, who came out of Chicago, white guy from Harvard, and they went to attack on New Orleans. And as soon as they started this race to the top, then they fired 10,000 black teachers just like that. Bam. Chicago, gone. Black teachers, gone. And I'm saying, I was trying to tell this lady, they were trying to make this thing a charter school. This is about they were privatizing this education. That's what they were doing.
That's exactly what they're doing. See, to privatize a school, you get taxpayers' funding going to the privatized school, and you're spending $8,000 a year on educating that school. But on the other hand, for public schools, they only got to draw on the public money, where they're spending $3,400, $4,200 a year for that child's education. So proportionately, if you go to a charter school or private school and they get government funding, they get more for each kid at the private school than the person in the public school gets. It's racket.
Well, yeah, and as a matter of fact, those schools that had failing test scores, all them schools got closed, and they was trying to turn them into charter schools. That's what Obama
was doing. Look at the homeboy neurosurgeon who's head of HEW. HUD.
Oh, okay, HUD, yeah.
Yeah, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, not Health, Education, and Welfare. I thought they would have put him over that, but HUD. Dr. what's his name?
Carson.
Ben Carson. He's a neurosurgeon, but he says the dinosaurs went extinct because they didn't get on Noah's Ark.
Wait a minute, Betsy DeVos.
Yeah, no, not. I know DeVos personally. She's been over to my house for dinner.
Okay.
Several times. She's friends with my ex-wife.
I know you're saying that. I know you said something about her. She
means well. She just has no background in education.
So in other words, you got a person doing something they don't know shit, right? Pretty much.
What happens is, see, her husband is the heir to the Mary Kay Cosmetics fortune, right? So what you do when you got a wife and you can afford it, and you're someplace like that, you take a couple of $100,000 and you buy them a membership in a club so they'll have something to do, so they don't get bored and they'll feel like they did something meaningful. So they had a thing called Aspen Youth Experience. So they brought in kids from the reservation, barrio, and ghetto. And they were trying to show them there was another way of life. And they kind of got the idea because they had this outstanding young man that they rescued. And he got a full scholarship to Harvard. He kicked behind the first year, got straight A's, made the dean's list, right? Everybody so proud of him. But his mama lived down in the hood up in Detroit. And some of us, like me, said, you do not need to encourage this boy to go back and see his no good rat-head mama. Oh, but he needs to uphold his mama. He does not need to go back there. So he went back there. Second day he was there, the gangsters broke in looking for his brother, shot 4 people in the house, including him, shot the brother 5 times, but he survived. And the honor student is dead because he went to see his mama. And those of us who knew say you need to keep him the hell away from that poison. So they learned that lesson. So she means well, she just has no educational background. But Ben Carson, you're a damn neurosurgeon and you running around playing bozo and you think the dinosaurs died out because they didn't get on the ark. What the hell is wrong with you?
Well, I'm going to say this, Judge. Well, like I said, it's always a pleasure. A lot of people respect you because you're on that man up thing. You get brothers to um look at things from a different perspective. I mean, hey, look, man, you came from a powerful time in an era. Like I said, it may take a lot of points from you, and if you just man up, you can make things better for yourself, your community, your neighborhood. So
I
go
want to
ahead.
say something with that just very briefly. Unfortunately for black folk, we've got the idea that being a man means that you don't have anything to do with intellect. Every race, oh, look at Sun Tzu, brilliant man, art of war. Okay. Ho Chi Minh was a lawyer. Mao Zedong was trained in law and he strategized the revolution, figured out the military situation, was chief general to carry it off, set up and founded his country's government. All right. Look at Fidel Castro. He was a lawyer. He sat there and he had his head together. Lenin and Trotsky, they were scholars.
Right.
Even Stalin, the gangster, the street thug, was a known scholar. He just read, had a huge library, gone through the whole thing, read every book in it. But we think you got to be some dumb hood rat bunny to do anything.
Yeah.
And see, that doesn't get you into thinking, except in terms of a negative hustle. And for us, we don't even hustle right. See, I used to do this thing where I'd counsel some of the people. Well, everybody I put on probation had to come to my counseling session. So for a 2-year period, I had some made men from the mafia come, some serious made men, soldiers, even a capo, well, a lieutenant or two. Is that you just telling you right? You got to man up. See, you can't be selling poisons to young people. You can't be raping your own women. You can't be burglarizing your own neighbors. You can't be robbing your own neighbors. You can't be gangsterizing your own neighbors. You try to avoid any civilians getting caught in the crossfire. But you fools, that's how you make your poison living. Don't nobody like your dumb ass. See, we serve the people. The old folk get their pension. The women don't get raped. Nobody burglarizing in our neighborhood. What's wrong with you? So you got to be a man. You got to provide for the people around you. You parasitize the people you live around. You play on. What is wrong with this? And see,
Well, well,
they
this is
didn't
what
get it. They were talking about black mafia. You ain't no mafia. What's wrong with you? You do these things where you live, that we be dead.
well, you know what I'm gonna say, Judge. Well, about that, you're right, and yeah, I want you to do what you say. Get a men a message and the women a message too. Oh, matter of fact,
Women,
before you do that,
it's a yin yang principle. You got a strong man that's taking nothing away from you. Brother, you got a strong woman that's taking nothing away from you. If you can't handle one, figure out what you need to do to be able to. And both of you, male and female, handling the opposite sex has nothing to do with tearing them down to size. The secret is trying to promote them so they are the best they can be. So their reactor runs at 110% instead of at 50% to get along with you.
well, and another thing, I know some people might want to do what you call get in contact with you. Tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Oh, well, you can tune in on a little thing I do for recreation, taking some points out of a book I'm writing. It's on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Judge Joe Brown TV. I do not have a blue check. Don't waste your time if you're a punk, because I'm going to try to offend you. I'll try to get you thinking, and I might answer one of your questions. They keep trying to shadow block me, and I get a bunch of followers, and they take them away, and I get them right back. So I'm building, but I don't like fools. And a lot of times it's not a question of whether you are a fool, it's how big a fool can a fool be. And think, know your enemy. And if you have an enemy, study your enemy and also understand something fundamentally important. Everything you need to learn is not written by somebody black, because truth has no face but truth itself. And the other thing, people keep saying, yeah, the old brother was down and so and so. So, well, no. Said, we don't have any successful black revolutionaries in this country. We don't have anybody that pulled off a successful black movement in this country. So everybody that you're listing as somebody that you have deified is a failure, because what they came up with didn't work. So find out who did something that actually worked. Study the hell out of that individual.
Okay.
And you ain't gonna get to be what you need to be trying to be no woman if you got a dick. You ain't gonna get what you need to be if you got a pussy trying to act like you got a dick. And too much thug hood rat is nothing but a lesbian in a boy's body. If you took the typical lesbian, they're raised just like the typical hood rat. They're raised as girls, both of them. They like girl nookie, but one of them's got a pussy and the other one's got a dick. And if the fairy god thing waved the magic wand over the lesbian and she woke up with a dick tomorrow, there'd be no difference between her and the thug. See,
well,
you're not a man because you're a male and you get physically mature. Being a man, M-A-N, is a qualification, something you have to earn.
Well, look, I want to say this, Judge. Well, after some brothers listen to you, they're gonna take some manhood tips, and you know, like I said, we respect you. I love talking to you. You give a lot of wisdom. You know, hey, look, at least, and I just say one thing. I like thought provocateurs. You make people think, and you know, we'll do it again next time. I'll get the man up Monday right.
Well, but listen, I got a subject for you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, next time. Tell somebody, look, man, I'm gonna tell you how to get your dumb ass laid so you can get some pussy without getting the fool knocked up getting it. All right.
Okay. Well, nice talking to you.
How to be a player. And one rule to be a player: if you ain't paying for it, you ain't playing. You working for it because somebody is playing you like a boy toy, and they paying you because that make you less than a man.
Well, that's always
just keep that in mind.
Well, that's always something new, man. I want you to have a good night and keep on spreading the good knowledge, because, like I say, you're a hard man to catch, but hey, when I catch you, it's always great. So thank you for
all right, young brother. Keep on pushing. Next time, brother, how to get your need for nookie satisfied. Just remember this one thing. For those who are straight, there is only one source of nookie on the planet.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
And if you want to think about something, we used to have this joke. What's the true definition for a woman?
We got to look into that, brother. But thank you.
What's the true definition for a woman? It's a joke. I'll say it politely. She's a life support system for some nookie.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take that into
context. No disrespect. It all ain't the same. And I'll give you another little clue. Women have sex in a way that's very consistent with their real inner personality.
I got you. Okay.
So just keep that in mind. If she doesn't have anything to say because she's an airhead, she ain't got nothing to communicate when it's all body language. Dumb women can't screw like intelligent women. You want the wildest screw? Get you one of them intelligent ones, and they get to be real freaks. You be going, oh yeah, Oh yeah, you be smiling all night for the rest of the week. Yeah, that was good. Yeah, be turning the lights on. I want to see what I'm getting up in here. Yeah,
Hey,
there I was.
hey, look, where you still rocking out, and hey, look, I want you to take care, and we'll talk again soon. Man up, brother.
2 thumbs up.
All right, brother. You have a great night.
All right, there you go. I'm out of here. Let me see. How do I get out of here? Oh, there we go.